All right, now that you've had a chance to hear me talk a little bit about the program and about tutoring math, I wanted to show you some different resources that you can use in your tutoring sessions. So let's walk over here to our tutor bin. This is our tutor resource bin, and hopefully you can see that all right. And within here, as I mentioned before, it's broken out into student files and then our resources. So I am going to pull out our multiplication file. So this is the multiplication and division file, and within it there's the purple files, and this is just division. And so within each of these purple files you'll find either division activities, or this one has multiplication facts and multiplication games. So I've already pulled out a few games that I want to show you how to use. And for this particular game, we are going to grab 2 dice. We've got little baggies that you'll find in our toolkit with dice, and these are different counters. They're little plastic game pieces that have different colors. So this sheet in particular is an addition and subtraction game. You'll see that it is, the worksheet is in a sheet protector. So the reason that I have stuff in sheet protectors is mostly because of space. We're able to consolidate all of our materials into pretty much one gigantic bin. And if I had to make a different sheet for everyone to be able to have their own copy, we would probably have 12 different bins, and we just don't have that much space. So when you see a sheet like this in a sheet protector, you just use a whiteboard marker or a dry erase marker, and then we have these erasers, and the black part is the eraser side, and you can just write on it with the whiteboard marker and then erase it, and then more students have the opportunity to use the sheet, and you can play a lot of different times. Plus, I think it makes it a little bit more fun than just writing on a worksheet with a piece of paper. So for this one, this is called Fact Families. So I'm going to roll the dice, and I rolled a 2 and a 6. So I'm going to use my whiteboard marker and write 2 and 6 up here. Sorry, you can't see it because it's backwards. So what this worksheet in particular is trying to demonstrate is the similarities between addition and subtraction, and how adding 2 plus 6 is the same as adding 6 plus 2. Then when you do subtraction, it will show you that 8 minus 2 equals 6, and that 8 minus 6 equals 2. So this is a really great worksheet to use when your student is learning the similarities and the differences between addition and subtraction. And if they're struggling to just really understand the concept of addition or subtraction, I would encourage you to use things like this. You'll also see this reflected in a lot of students' homeworks, especially in 3rd grade. Okay, let's talk about one of my favorite math games. This is a multiplication game in particular. This is called Bump, and we have this game in multiplication and in addition. I have found a lot of different game boards for the Bump game that are in different seasonal kind of decorations, I guess. So this is called Multiplication Boo Bump, and we have Gobble Bump for Thanksgiving, and then we have a few different ones for winter and then Valentine's Day. So I'll update these as the year goes on. So this is just a game where you need 2 dice, and then each player, so probably just you and your student, or you could play with another group as well if you wanted to. But each person probably needs about 10 counters, so these little plastic pieces, and it's wise for each person in your group to have their own color. Because once you roll the dice, so I rolled a 6 and a 2, so I am going to grab my piece. Let's say I'm blue, so I'm going to put my piece on the 12 space, and then if my student rolls a 6 and a 2, he is going to come and bump my piece off and then put his piece on top of the 12 space instead. So the game is kind of just about multiplying or adding. So again, if you're doing the addition version, you would just add the sum of the two dice together instead of multiplying it. But once you kind of get a chance to roll a few different times, you'll fill up the game board, and then you and your student can bump each other off. And the kids just love this game. It's a great way to practice multiplication or addition facts and make it a little bit more fun than doing flashcards. So let's talk about fractions now. This is a game called Fraction Sort, and it's just a little worksheet, and then on the back you can see there's a baggie that has different game pieces and cards within it. So I'm going to grab those, and then this is your game board, and you can see that there's a column for 1/2, 1/3, 1/4, and 1/5. Then all of these little pieces have either a picture of 1/3 or one of these fractions, or they have the actual word. So here's 1/3. So let's start with this one. We would just go ahead and lay our worksheet down on the table, and then for all of the fractions that are 1/3, we would put those in the column for 1/3. And then here's, let's see, a picture of 1/2, so we would put it over here. So this is just a really great exercise for students, probably 3rd graders or sometimes 4th graders, especially in the beginning of the year, just to help them remember how to say the fraction. So this is 1/4, and then trying to find the word 1/4 that just to remember, give them a refresh, and then for students who are just learning it, how to compare the picture to the word. So we've got a lot of other fractions activities, especially for beginning fractions, just basic activities. So take a look in the fractions file in the bin, and you'll find one for basic fractions, one for adding and subtracting fractions, multiplying and dividing, and then also for mixed numbers, improper fractions, and fractions, decimals, and percents.